Hi everyone, Sandman here. This video is brought to you by a donation from Miss Fat Cat, and here's what her meownificence has to say. Hello, I don't know how you expected me to react to the 8th donation. I think you're cute when you're clueless, but do work on reading between the lines. My partner is a bit too trusting towards me and refuses to get legal advice. He means a lot to me and I would appreciate if you could actually completely disregard me when you give him advice. I might not be able to force him to talk to you, but I can force him to listen. He's so cute when he snores. With regards to my partner, it's not that simple. My dad wants both of us, especially him, to join the family business. He's been going on about it now for 6 years. I do like my partner and even tossed an engagement ring, the real engagement ring, at him in the summer of 2015. I had the gold checked a little bit later. He was a bit shocked and I told him to keep it if he liked how things were going. And if he wants to end the relationship, all he has to do is return it. He keeps it in the same spot all the time. It was supposed to be the start of the fake marriage, and he was fine with that. A few months later, my parents offered him a job one last time, and he refused yet again. After that, my dad started his campaign on, "He's only using you," completely disregarding my partner's circumstances and feelings. My dad is pretty much off to kill the relationship and possibly marry me off to someone who would basically be useful for the family business. It's like a rerun of what my grandfather tried, and that did not go well either. I left the country for more than one reason, you see. I dropped MGTOW on him and then I left. He needed time to think about it on his own and what he wanted. You guys in the MGTOW movement were not all that convincing, and we finally announced our engagement after I got my diamond ring. I don't want a marriage, and he hoped my parents would have basically disowned me like my brother and sister. The plan is now in shambles, and life does not care about what I want. I think my dad wants to keep the line open. He probably hopes that at some later point this will work out for the family business. You would want an example as to why that's never going to happen and why I always kept my partner away from the family business. I tried to get him to cut his losses and find someone else. Why can't he understand he owes me nothing and does not need to sacrifice himself to me? I'm a handicapped girl and shouldn't be all that hard to replace. Unfortunately, modern women suck and he seems to have more options. How freaky is that? But now he wants to start having kids of all the times to pick. Just in case our marriage doesn't work out, my dad's working on a prenuptial that will most likely screw over my partner. It will most likely be Kud Ulzelting. I don't know what that translates to, but it means we actually keep the finances separate. I don't care about the details. There are only two things that I want in the case of a divorce. Number one, he gets the kids, which I think is obvious, and number two, I keep my finances and he keeps his. You deal with a lot of married and divorced guys, and I would like your take on this. Apart from never getting married in the first place, does anyone else have any other advice? My dad sure isn't expecting me to take legal advice from the MGTOW community. In this scenario, nobody really gets what they want, and all of us will make do because that's life. It sucks, and then you get over it. To verify that I indeed have a boyfriend, I'll be sending you a copy of the marriage certificate when it's done, or we'll basically send you a PayPal donation with a different last name, which should be sufficient. Hopefully you men now have better insight on the hypogamy relationship and how it's dangerous. Bye, and I'm so happy we're skipping the wedding day and simply eloping. Well, Miss Fat Cat, thanks for your donation because you're a gift that keeps on giving. First of all, why does your partner need legal advice? He has everything to gain, and you have everything to lose if there's a divorce. Shouldn't you be actually looking for legal advice yourself? Isn't it obvious what's happening here? Your parents tried controlling your brother and sister and taking their lives in a direction they didn't want them to, so in the end your parents ended up disowning them. Your parents probably wanted someone that's obedient instead of someone who thinks for themselves. That's why your fiancé or future husband, once you showed me the marriage certificate, is absolutely perfect. Your parents tell you what they want him to do and then he does it because you pull the purse strings when it comes to this new husband. I believe everyone can see that from a mile away. Your parents giving him a job is just a way to control him. Your parents also giving you access to the family money is also another way to control you. I congratulate the man for having a backbone and turning down the job offer. This guy is absolutely the furthest possible from going his own way. His wife will control him and his father and mother-in-law will control both of you as well. The way your father is taking control of this situation deserves me taking out my hands and doing a slow, drawn-out clap. Your dad sounds like an alpha male manipulator, and he's gained my respect for the way that he put you in your place. He probably rules the family with an iron fist as well. But I bet you anything I know what you're thinking. You're thinking to yourself that one day daddy is going to die, and all that money is going to be mine, and I'll have a beta male husband there doing everything I want him to. Most women will also want the big wedding. I'm sure you wanted a big wedding as well, but your fiancé said no, so you're basically eloping in a hurry to make sure he doesn't go anywhere. You were the one that brought him the ring to begin with. I've experienced this before, and if you actually know, I've actually dealt with this in a video called She Proposed to Me, and that was a while back. When a woman proposes to a man, it's not a sign of strength, but it's more about desperation and a strong desire to lock that man down as quickly and as permanently as possible. Also, for some reason, you're honoring your parents and doing what they expect of you. The largest motivation is that if you do what they want you to, the family fortune is yours because you're playing the part of the obedient daughter. On second thought, I now take that slow clap back that I did for your father. I don't think he understands how you might play him out in the end when all of this is said and done. He might not understand how you get to keep the family fortune and a beta male lackey to tell what to do in the future as well. I originally thought you wanted to marry this guy because he's a beta male so you can control him. But now I see that that was just one reason, and now I believe that the real reason you're doing this is because in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to the family business and fortune, you get to keep it. What you're doing is downright Machiavellian, right out of the book The Prince. You're potentially screwing over your siblings and being obedient to your father's wishes to get the biggest payout in the future. You're quite a piece of work, Fat Cat, and I think I owe you a slow clap while the rest of your family deserves a facepalm. Your father knows you can't be trusted with the family business and your other siblings have been disowned, so he's now looking after his own legacy, so he wants to marry you off to a man that's going to take care of the business and also take care of you as well. It's cute that you actually sent me a picture or design graphic for your ring to prove to everyone that it's actually happening. Your dad is also smart to get your partner to sign a prenup, but if you guys have kids, then he gets more money in the courts. At least that's the way it is in North America. But I think you already knew that. Your dad is probably thinking about family legacy at this stage of life, and has probably already alienated 2 of his adult children, and now you, the third one, Fat Cat, are playing it cool with daddy waiting for your big payday. I honestly don't think you care so much about the family business as much as the financial bonanza that it would bring to you in the future. The last thing you need is some strong alpha male to challenge your authority or your father's and put you in your place. That's why I honestly believe that you picked this guy as marriage material. You're worried that if you pick a man that rocks the boat too much and gets you disowned, is going to cause you trouble. So instead you pick a man that's a pushover and easily controlled, and that way he's not going to get you into trouble. But I don't think that you were originally counting on this guy having a mind of his own and telling your parents no when they offered him the job. I think that when you first started dating him, he was more beta than he is now. I think he's taken on more dominant traits now that you enjoy, but simultaneously, you risk all the stuff that you could get from your father's business in the future. That's where I see this paradox. You probably do want a man to put you in your place, but you also don't want one at the same time. As for marriage advice, you better hope and pray that your new husband doesn't stir shit up and get you disowned from your parents. Then you'll be out of luck like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking competition. My suggestion is don't reveal your cunning ways, Miss Fat Cat, because I think I've gotten more of the big picture with this particular video request. You see, with women, for me to understand what they want, I'm actually like a detective and I look for the small petty motives like greed, status, and control. I don't look at the money that a woman has right now or is receiving from other places right this moment. Now I look at where she's setting herself up for in the future. She is positioning herself like a chess piece on the board, and if she doesn't put herself in the most advantageous position, either she's really stupid or she wants to project to everyone that she's a good person. In the equation that is going to be your new married life and your old family life, everything is set into motion, and the only thing that could potentially destroy such a perfect plan is a loose cannon like your future husband. Therefore, you're working as hard as possible to control the outcome of this situation. I have to hand it to you because it sounds like you're a master manipulator and you have all the plausible deniability in the world to cover your tracks. You come across as a poor, weak, disabled woman, meanwhile it's quite possible that you have more evil in your heart than Darth Vader. I absolutely love how women put themselves in the best positions in life with as little effort as possible, and when they have the best of luck in the world, we all assume it's luck. But I think it's more about social strategy getting oneself into all that inheritance money. Oops, look at me, I just fell into a fortune, accidentally. With women there are no accidents, it's all about careful planning. Today I was at a family dinner and someone asked me why I was single and unmarried. I told her I haven't actually found the right breed of woman yet, insinuating that all women are dogs. She didn't get upset, but instead complimented me on my great comeback because all the other men in the room were married. They wouldn't be allowed to say something like that or they wouldn't hear the end of it from their wives at home. I didn't say that all women were bitches, but I did at the same time if you read between the lines. If it was question about what I had said, I would have said it was instead breed of cat and not dog because women and cats both share the same sense of strong independence or some other nonsense like that. The reason I'm bringing this up is because Fat Cat, I think I've actually gained some respect for this guy. If I were him, I would run with his newfound self-confidence. But if I were you, I would be sharpening my claws and shedding my fur, getting ready to whip him into shape if he falls out of line. After all, you can't risk losing all that money you're going to be handed to one day now, can you? My advice to you is don't let any of your male relatives or your future husband listen to this video, because obviously you don't want him to reach the same conclusions, well, more like theories that I have, because As we all know, women also have plausible deniability to cover their tracks. I know you'll probably never admit to any of these things I said, Miss Fat Cat, but I know what I'm talking about. You don't need my advice, and I think you just wanted to see if I was intelligent enough to figure out all these things I just told you. I think of all of this as an elaborate shit test to see if I could actually tell you all these things, and I would be calling you out on your potential bullshit, even though you're sending me some good money for these videos that I'm making. Maybe you want to see the price that I can be bought at. For me, it doesn't matter because I don't sugarcoat anything, and I tell it like I see it. So please don't ask me for any advice when you've already put yourself in the best position possible. Anyways, that's all I've got to say for today. Thanks again, Ms. Fat Cat, for the entertainment and donation. Also, don't forget to check out the MGTOW mystery link, and also like this video. As for everyone else out there, please follow me on Twitter or like me on Facebook to get tomorrow's video today. Thanks for taking your daily dose of red pills. And remember, a red pill a day keeps the female Darth Vader away. So enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.